Hey, Coach, tonight on Nova Legends podcast, I got Coach Mike Desmond from South Lakes, a guy I met for the first time the other night after his at his post game celebration get together, which was great to meet him. I'd watched him play many years ago at Chantilly High School. Great guard. Anyway, Coach, thanks for coming on tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm in no way a Nova legend, so it's cool to be on your show.
Well, let me tell you something. You're on top right now. You won the Northern Region. You're the coach. Right now, you're a Nova legend. 6 months from now, who knows? But right now, right now, you're a Nova legend. So anyway, let's talk about South Lakes. So I got a chance to watch you guys play a lot this year. Just so happens I'm friends with folks over at Madison, and I just happen to catch a lot of your games. I really like your team. No real superstars, but lots of good players. You got 8 or 9 players that can help you. You definitely have a superstar on the bench. He's only a freshman. He's going to be a great player, but you have the opportunity to bring him along a little bit slowly. You don't have to rush him in there. But you must really like your team this year.
I love the guys. And you said it best. We're really balanced, and I think our leading scorer maybe averages 12, but we have 4 of the 5 starters all average double digits, and Kyle Tang, well, he doesn't average double digits consistently. He's the reason those other guys get those shots. We have a couple of young guys who come off the bench and really do contribute right away, which is going to be good because we're starting 5 guys next year that can't drive. So to bring these young guys in, we have 3 sophomores and 3 freshmen up with us right now. It's going to make the you don't want to use the word rebuild, but the retool a lot simpler.
Exactly. Well, you're going to have a great player who's going to be a sophomore. Aiden Billings is one of my favorite players I've seen all year. Just big body, great hands, ferocious rebounder, very simple inside. The ball goes up. He knows how to get the ball up in traffic. But you're talking about Kyle Tang. He is a pure point guard. He is a point guard of the old tradition. He's not going to score tons. He's going to move that ball in transition. If someone runs the floor, he's going to get him. He's going to defend. I mean, he's the kind of point guard I like to have.
Yeah, he makes us go, and his defense is incredible. Multiple people have said he's, if not the best, one of the best on-ball defenders they've seen in a long time. And he's quick, he's strong, he's smart. So he's very good at anticipating what you're going to do offensively with the ball. And, there's been several games the last 2 years that a team's natural point guard doesn't bring it up. They just move him off the ball so they don't have to deal with Kyle.
I actually like teams that do that. Why beat your head against the wall? If a guy's great on defense, let someone else bring it up. You don't have to prove it. That's actually probably smart coaching. So this year, Coach, you went into a new district, and the reason why I know that is my son plays soccer, and we had to face that South Lakes team, and we know we don't have to. We know we don't have to this year. So you guys went into the Concord this year. Where did you?
Yeah, we left the Liberty, went to the Concord. We had been in the Concord over a decade ago, and to be honest with you, all the moving of teams and rearranging districts and regions never makes any sense to me. Yeah. So we were familiar with the Concord. We play those guys typically, most of them once a year. We had never played Chantilly in my whole time being at South Lakes, and I think that was kind of Andrew and Jim's design. We scrimmaged, but we never played them. We always played Westfield. We always played Oakton. We saw Centerville more as, time went on, but not often. And, then you mentioned them, Kevin Roller and Madison, the thorn in our side, not just mine, Duggan's as well. So going into the new district, it's a different district. Teams over there or over here now, they seem to play a lot slower and try to beat you up, except for Madison. So us coming in was a little different style-wise, but I thought we did a good job adjusting and still being able to play our game most of the time.
Kevin Roller makes you hate the movie Hoosiers, doesn't he?
The guy's great. The guy's great. You know, he reinvented himself this year. He played 2-3 zone, no 1-3-1, which used to be a staple.
Oh,
They shot 107 threes and they played fast, and that hasn't been him. So, you know, Kevin always does a great job.
yeah, he does. Yeah, I coached many years ago, and when I coached Marshall's summer league for Kevin Warren.
Yeah.
Kevin was assistant coach. I got to know him a little bit then, but great to see him doing so well. So anyway, the first time I saw you guys play this year was the Madison game when you won by like 35, 40 points. My good friend Gina Kublank had talked some trash on Facebook, and I think Coach had some locker room. Coach Desmond had some locker room material, and you guys came out. And you know, when you coach, it's very rare you have the perfect game. You know, you go out, you do your best you can, you hope the kids do well, they hustle, they shoot well. That was the perfect game. I mean, as long as you coach, you will never have a team play better than that. Everything you did worked. Your passing was perfect, your shooting was perfect, your rebounding was perfect. That was one of those games that a coach dreams about.
I mean, you know, I don't have Facebook. All our social media accounts, I pay someone to run it for me because I'm not good at it. I didn't hear about Gina's comments until later, but I've known that family for a long, long time. So it's kind of friendly ribbing to me.
Yeah.
Going into that game, you know, it was kind of a do or die type game where, okay, you know, we've got to figure something out. And instead of trying to out X's and O's Kevin, I thought defensively, all three games, we had great game plans, but offensively, we just said, throw it away and just go play and turn it into a pickup game and see if they can do a pickup game with us. And that night we were, you know, like you said, we were hitting on all cylinders. EJ Finney was great. You know, Kyle was Kyle. Colin Luongo and Nate Owen were lights out. And Sammy Cooley is a killer. And, you know, Billings was a monster that night. Jordan Scott made some plays. So, like you said, it was a great game, maybe only comparable because your kid goes to Yorktown, right?
Yeah.
When we beat them the first time, the year Joe won the district, we went over there and we absolutely just picked apart the press and got layup after layup after layup. So those are definitely two games that you look at and go, it wasn't me as a coach.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. Those kids just went out there and played.
Coach, you do a great job, but you're right. You gotta have the kids. The kids have to execute no matter how good, no matter how well you coach. So let's go to the regional tournament. So
Okay.
I mean, the big game is always the semifinals because we want to win region, but at least if you lose that game, you know, you live to fight another day. But the regional semis, if you lose, you're out. So that's the game you have to win. And you played a Marshall team, and Marshall, that team has been on fire. They've been playing really well. I think they lost to Washington Lee in the district final, but they've been on a roll the last month or so, playing really well. And they have size. It's the kind of team, if they're playing well, they're difficult to play. You guys started out, jumped all over them, and you went through a bad patch, and they kind of got the legs under them, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a dogfight.
You know, I think the semifinals of the region are kind of like the NCAA finals, Final Four, right? Where the semi games usually are better than the final.
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn, love the guy, talk to him all the time. He's done a great job. I think they won like 4 or 5 games last year.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal job turning that thing around. Those are his kids now. And we knew Jerry was going to have his kids ready to go. We thought that maybe we could jump on them, but we expected them to settle in. You know, Jerry's not gonna lay down. His kids aren't gonna lay down. So I wasn't surprised that they came back. I wasn't surprised that they had the lead for a lot of the second half because we do dumb stuff sometimes where my kids get leads and then they start doing other stuff. And I'm not sure where it comes from because we don't practice other stuff, but we have those stretches in games where we do other stuff. And Jerry's team took advantage of it. And I was just proud of my guys because there's so many plays in that game that you could have been like, here we go again. We're about to get bounced in the semis again. We're going to underachieve again. And my kids just, they fought. And I was talking to Jerry Saturday night, and he talked about the big three Luongo hit and what a great play I drew up. And I told Jerry, Luongo messed up. He went to the wrong spot, but we found him and he just made a big shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was fun to be at. There was such intensity in the gym that night. It's just great. I mean, the South Lakes it's a great venue for high school basketball, and especially when you got two good teams like that. What about the next night? Now, Washington and Liberty. You had my friend Bobby Dobson coaching. Yeah, you know Bobby. And
very well.
I just got on the phone with him. He got mad because I said his game was ugly earlier today. But whenever you play Bobby, you're in a dogfight. That's just Bobby. That's just Coach Bobby. So what'd you think about the final?
Again, competitive game, and we are very familiar with them and very familiar with Bobby, and he always gets his kids just to fight, man. And it's amazing because he'll go through these stretches of new kids every 2 or 3 years, right? I mean, we all do, but like his kids. You might as well replace a name with a name because they all play hard.
Yeah.
They all play hard and they fight. And that's because Bobby's a tough guy. And you can definitely see that rubs off on his kids. The game plan was to do everything we could to make sure Elijah Hughes didn't hurt us. And Centerville has a really good big kid, Ryan Newell. And the first time we played them, he didn't get going to the second half. And I don't remember what he scored, but he got us in foul trouble. And the second time we played him, he got us in foul trouble. And the third time, foul trouble. So we weren't so concerned that, Hughes is going to go off for 20. We were concerned like, oh my gosh, what if he fouls 5 of us out? So we kind of, decided that we're going to double and triple him before he has the ball. And we know that, the McIntyre kid's great. Weisner's great. They got other guys. A little number 30 can shoot the lights out. But if we lose, it's going to be those guys beating us, not us getting fouled out trying to guard Hughes. So, and Billings played great defensively. And so did Jordan Corey, another sophomore off the bench. Small spurts, but he played pretty good on Friday night.
Yeah. I really felt like he did a really good job, as you were talking about. Their scorers didn't get good looks. They got uncomfortable looks all night. And I felt like in the first quarter it could be a game, but I felt like as the game went on, their scorers did not get good looks, and they were shooting tough shots.
I think we're good defensively. We kind of really focus on that most of the time of what we're trying to accomplish against anybody, and we have to change how we play for other teams. Like again, if you have a dominant big, you gotta, we're not going to trap as much or, some of the up and down things, but defensively, we're really good. And our kids all year have bought into the fact that if you make a tough 2, okay, good for you. But we're not going to give you open threes. We're not going to give you easy looks. You're going to have to earn them. And for the most part this year, we've done a pretty good job of making teams take tough 2s or we're really good at scouting. So if you have a primary set, you better be able to get the option C on that because we're taking A and B away.
Yeah. Well, it's working well. So, let's talk about the state quarterfinals. So, by winning, not only did you win the regionals, but you avoid Hayfield the first game. And I'm not saying Fairfax is a walk in the park because I was very impressed with them, even though they lost by 30 points. That team has talent and they are well coached. So, what do you think about Friday's quarterfinal? Obviously, you're at home. That's a huge advantage coming to South Lakes. You got a great home crowd, even though they're going to bring some people over as well. But what do you think going into Friday's game?
Fairfax is really good. And I think if you're not a fan of basketball and you just check the box scores or you watch a game here and there, and you look at what Hayfield did Saturday to them, you're like, oh man, Fairfax, that's going to be an easy game for South Lakes. No, it's not. No. Those Cats won 20 games, came out of the Patriot District. Mike Barbie, Dave Brooks told me this the other day, and he's right. He's the best coach. Mike Barbie's the best coach not to have a title. And he's had these great teams, and they've got into, finals, Final Fours, and they just unfortunately play in the Patriot District. And, you win the Patriot District, that's as good as winning the region over there, in my opinion. So Mike is also the master of making games ugly. We're going to see 3-2, 2-3, 1-3-1, 1-1. We're going to see zones that no one else has ever seen before. Mike's probably at home right now making new zones up with different box and ones and triangle two. He's going to do what he does best, and maybe he mans us straight up. I don't know. But I know this week we're preparing for any type of zone and junk defense that the world's ever seen. And we know that Mike's going to have a new one that no one's ever seen before on Friday. And they got players, man. You don't win 20 games without players.
Yeah.
And Margod's a freak.
I love him.
He's going to be so great as a senior, especially when that jump shot comes along. He can do everything right now. The Macquarie kid, athletic, streaky, bouncy, tough kid. He got in a little scrimmage with the Jones kid the other night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, tough kid. And I think the kid's name is Rios.
Yeah.
Another tough, strong kid. And I'm not good with their names because we're just more focused on schemes and packages right now. We'll get into their names Thursday and Wednesday, but I know they got a little dude who shoots the ball from 100 feet away and it goes in if you're not next to him.
Yeah.
So, Mike has pieces over there, and there's a reason why they're in this game. You're not decent, average, or lucky if you're still playing. You're damn good.
Yeah. In your mind,
did I say that?
Yeah, you can say it. This is YouTube. Say whatever you want. So in your mind, what are the keys to victory in the game?
We got to rebound, and we've got to value possessions, and not just value the ball and not turn it over, but make sure we get a solid possession, because if Fairfax is doing crazy things over there, we can't be rushed into a shot that's maybe not the best shot at that time. That being said, we're going to play our game, but we just have to be very smart about the situations. Like, what are they in? And after 3 passes, are they still in that, or has he changed already? So, valuing the possession, rebounding the basketball, and obviously making them take tough shots.
Yeah.
And not letting the little shooter get any airspace.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can't wait. We're gonna be there again, and I can't wait to see some great basketball. So I know, this is tournament time. You're gonna take one game at a time. So we're not talking about South Lakes now, but for fans of the tournament, when you look at some of the other teams, obviously we have Hayfield and Washington Liberty. Do you see Washington Liberty having a chance to knock off Hayfield?
Hayfield's different, man. That starting 5 is special, and they're a tough task for anybody. I think they could compete with if not even beat the PVIs and O'Connells of the world. I think they're that good. So WNL is so they're going to go in there. They're not going to be afraid. They're going to be tough because that's who they are.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't turn the ball over and they can throw the ball inside, I love, as a fan, the matchup of Hughes and King. I think it's a great individual matchup, but we're not playing one-on-one.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to value the ball. They're going to have to probably slow down a little bit. And you can't if you turn it over against Hayfield, it's a 28-3 run. So, Hayfield's a headache for everybody.
Yeah. It's gonna be something else. So do you know anything about Patriot, Manchester, James River, or Battlefield? Do you have any sense of those teams?
Yeah. So we played Battlefield. Randy and I live in the same area. I talk to Randy sometimes. So we're somewhat familiar with Battlefield. I know they have good players. I know they play. Again, you're not here if you're not good.
Right.
So I've seen them live and I've seen them on film. I've only seen Patriot on film, and Sherman has, I think, the last 4 or 5 years built himself a little dynasty. Again, right up the road from me. So familiar, yeah, but I'm not even looking that far, and I don't know anything about anyone from 6A. I know nothing, absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
And I'm sure they don't know us. So
yeah, it's the old saying: you can take it one game at a time, right, Coach?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Well, look, coach, this has been great. It was great meeting you last week. I loved being in the glow of victory. You walked into the bar, everyone clapped for you. It was just great being there, being a part of it. I didn't even know you guys would be there. I guess I should have figured out it was so close to the gym. But it was really nice to meet you. You do a great job. You're very, very modest guy. But I know you're ambitious and you want your team to be ready. So I know you're trying to keep your the ambition down and the trash talking down. But you've done a great job with this team. It's a fun team to watch, athletic kids. So I'm looking forward to Friday night. It's going to be fun to watch.
It's gonna be a great game because again, I think Fairfax is really, really good, and I think we're really, really good. And it's a toss up, and we'll hopefully play our best basketball. And if that's good enough to win, cool. But if it's not, well, we played our best basketball. So
yeah. Well, that's great. But look, make some plays, get lucky, and hopefully let's talk more often. And maybe I'll see you. What's that place called again?
the what?
What's that place?
Look, I don't go out in Ruston. I only went out because Kim Retzer, my principal, and Leah Conte told me I had to.
Okay.
And when they did the clapping, I honestly, if I could have snuck out, I would have left. That's not my thing. Like, if you want to talk about our kids and we're having a thing about South Lakes basketball, cool. But Mike Desmond, I don't really do much. If you ask my kids, they'll tell you all he does is yell at us, and then we just go play.
Yeah. What I love about that though is I did a podcast with the 1984 Final Four. I don't know if you saw it, but Derek Hensley, his dad was Carl Hensley, a legendary coach. We were talking about how much the games used to mean to everybody. And he was saying after the games, they'd go to Pizza Hut. And when the team would walk into Pizza Hut, the place would stand up and give them an ovation, because high school sports were everything when I was a kid. Everything. And, with social media and the private schools, there's so much that detracts from public school ball. So I love the moment just because it meant so much. It was fun. And I know it wasn't just for you, even though you do a great job. It was for your team as well. So that's what it symbolized.
Yeah, and you hit on the head, I think, where it's just there's so much more these kids have going on that going to a game, a big game or not, sometimes isn't a priority. Sometimes you question, some school spirit, although I think our crowd is fantastic. Mm-hmm. They have shown up this year. They have traveled this year. We have a group of 10 or 12 kids that came out to West Potomac on a school night to support us. And they've traveled. They've traveled to basically every game we've played. And it's been amazing. The hype squad at South Lakes has been absolutely a blessing. And I appreciate them. I really do.
Yeah. And it means something on the scoreboard as well. And the players can feel it when you have loyal supporters behind you. So
100%.
Yeah. Anyway, Coach, this has been great. I'm glad to meet you. And good luck on Friday. And let's talk soon.
I would love to. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. Again, good luck.